So this is part 2 of my May manga reading log. So these are all the volumes I read towards the second half of the month. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first series I have to talk about is A Bride Story. And I apologize now for the post-it notes or the sticker notes. But these are actually library copies, and you can see like the name of my library, so I just wanted to cover it up for privacy reasons. But like I said, this is a slice of, well, I would say a historical slice of life set on the Silk Road that I believe follows, like, as the series goes on, multiple brides. But in this first volume we meet this young lady over here, and she gets married to a much younger guy. She's actually 8 years older than him, so she's 20 years old, and he's, I want to say 12 years old? Yes, that's 8. But it's not gratuitous, or it's not done to be edgy. It's kind of just how it probably was back then. You know, age gap romances or age gap relationships probably weren't a big deal back then, so I will say if you're hesitant about that, just keep reading this, because it is pretty innocent and sweet, and it's all about them, these two, getting to know one another and getting used to each other and their daily married life. I'd also say that this series is really well done because I think it's very unique with its setting and story, and the art, as you can see, is absolutely beautiful. Like, it even goes over here. It goes here. So yeah, that's volume 1. Volume 2, we still follow this young lady and her young spouse. I'm getting these through the library because these are actually, the volumes are kind of, I don't want to say expensive, but they are a little bit pricey. And so before I actually decide to invest in it, I kind of just wanted to get it through the library. Right now, I am enjoying this series. However, I'm not yet feeling emotionally invested in this series, and so I'm going to check out the next 2 volumes from the library, and depending on how I feel, I'll decide whether to actually buy the series or not. But yeah, A Bride Story, I really enjoyed this. I highly recommend. And then, the next thing I read, which is a ton of volumes, well, not a ton, but quite a bit, is next I read Yona of the Dawn, volumes 1 through 12, so I'm not going to take all of them down. I'm just going to slowly go through the covers. So, I feel like everyone knows this series is very beloved if you read shoujo, so I'm not going to go too much into what it's about, but I guess I am going to go into what it's about. But it's about Princess Yona, who we see right here, and she one day has to escape from the castle because her father dies. That's not really a spoiler because it happens in the first volume. What the spoiler would be is who kills her father, but I'm not going to say that, of course. And so, yeah, it kind of follows her as she leaves the castle, faces the reality of what the situation in her kingdom is about, and her inner struggle to get stronger and to kind of think about what her new role is now that she is no longer officially the princess, right? And she doesn't have that privilege or that position anymore. But yeah, again, this is a really well-known series, so. And to be honest, when I was reading volumes 1 through 8, it was a little bit slow or hard for me because those are the volumes that cover that the anime covers, and I've rewatched the anime so many times that I know this content so well, so it felt so redundant to me, but I really wanted to start from the beginning and give each volume a rating. So if you're curious, volume 8 is where the anime ends, like covering the manga, and volume 9 is where the manga surpasses the anime. Again, this is a library copy because I think I've said this before. Volume 9 is out of stock right now. It is hard to find, but I was not going to let that get me down or stop me from reading it, so I just got it from the library. So this series, or what am I saying? So this next arc that is manga only kind of follows Yona as she goes into the Fire Tribe, and she really sees the harsh reality people are living under and how impoverished the villages are. And there are 3 points or 3 things that I liked about this arc. So first thing is that we see the redemption and characterization like fleshed out of this character right here, who is Taijun. He is the second son of the Fire Tribe general, and in the beginning of the series he's kind of introduced as this narcissistic, selfish, bratty guy, but he really makes a turnaround in this arc. And I think one of the things that is interesting about his characterization is I feel like he's almost made to be a parallel to Princess Yona, because he kind of symbolizes what she could have done if she had realized how bad the situation was while she was still a princess. Because right now she doesn't have a position to really do anything, and so she's very limited on what she can do, contrasted to Taijun here, who is the second son of a general and has a lot he can do. And he does do a lot that only he can do because of his position. And I don't know, I just thought it was an interesting parallel and connection. So the second thing I really liked about this arc is that we really see Yona come to terms with reality, in the sense that there is no black or white conflict. And what I mean by that is there's a scene where she is confronted by bandits, and she basically tells them to stop killing and stop stealing. And there's a moment where she realizes that these people don't want to be doing that, and that if they had the chance, they wouldn't do it. But because it's such an impoverished land, they have nothing else to do. And when they ask her what they can do, she doesn't know what to say. And so she's realizing the poor situation these people are in, and she's not sure what she can do or what she can say to them. And so I don't know, it's really interesting to see her struggle, that inner conflict within her. And then the last thing I really liked about this arc is that we get some more nuance and development with the character Suwon, who is kind of the antagonist, so to say. But he gets more nuanced in this arc because we see why he really decided to become king and his actions, which aren't totally bad. And I really liked nuanced characters, and I love gray characters. But of course we also do like a bad character who is bad for the sake of being bad. But not Suwon. He's very nuanced. Or so far he's getting some nuanced characterization. So it's really good. And so I finished that arc within Unit of the Dawn, which I just call the Fire Tribe arc. And the next one is going to be the Water Tribe arc, I believe. I haven't started that yet because I kind of wanted to take a break and get a breather before I started that. So that was a lot of words. So next up I read, well actually let me say that I got into a big shoujo romance kick. And so I just totally read all the volumes that are totally out of Love Me, Love Me Not. So that would be volumes 1 through 8. And this series is so good. I just absolutely love it. I think I've already talked about this in my haul, so I kind of don't want to go back into it. But I think I'll just let you guys read this if you want, just in case. And so, what can I say about this series? Because I feel like a lot happens in 8 volumes. Let's see. So I would say that... Oh, okay. I know what I'm going to say. So in the first part of the series, which would be like, I don't know, volumes 1 through 3 or 1 through 4, there's this conflict between Akari and Rio and Yuna that is kind of no, it wasn't my favorite. I understand why it was there and why it needed to be there. But I was so glad it was over and that we got to move forward from that, because after that initial conflict is when these characters are starting to make real inroads in their relationships with one another. And so we get a lot more fluffiness and cuteness. But we also get some emotional depth. I can't say words. But it is, as cute as it is, it's also serious in the sense that we kind of see what's bothering these teenagers in their personal and daily lives, especially when it comes to their parents and the fighting and pressures from our parents. So I thought that was really well done and really good. And one of the things I appreciated about this series as well. So yeah, and I just can't wait for the next few volumes to come out. I am definitely thinking of picking up Blue Spring Ride by the same author. Also thinking of picking up her first series that I'm forgetting the name of. But yeah, because this is really cute and the art style is really nice. So I'd be willing to give her other series a shot. But we'll see. And the very last thing, or it's not the last thing I read, but yeah, it's one of the last things I read, was Wotakoi, Love is Hard for Otaku, Volume 2. And this is also another romantic comedy between otaku. So these two are a couple, and these two are a couple, and there's also a third couple that isn't a couple yet, but we know is going to be one. And this is a really cute and funny series. I really do like it. However, if I'm being honest, this second volume wasn't the greatest for me, because what the author does is that there's these two principal stories that are in it. Like, one is a flashback and the other is kind of like a date event, and they're spread out among the volume with like random chapters in between these main chapters, and so that kind of drew me out of the main chapters. I understand why it was done, but I just didn't love the execution. But I'm still gonna continue with the series, of course, because it is really good and it's really funny. But that would be like my only disappointment for this volume. So yeah, that is all the manga I read in the month of May. It was such a good month for reading. I'm probably gonna chill out for the month of June, because I think I was just in a daze where I wanted to read everything. But now I'm kind of chilled out, and I'm excited for what June has to bring and what I read. If you like this video, please consider giving me a like and subscribe. Comment down below what you read in the month of May, or what you think about these series that I read. I love to have a conversation about it, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!